What's happening? What's happening? What's happening with it? How y'all doing today? What's happening, man? Who that is? Whoa! What's up, Lawrence? Salute. What's happening, dog? How you doing, my brother? How you feeling today, man? Who else on here, man? I see three people on here. On it, my brother Lawrence spoke. Who else we got in the building, man? What's happening with it? What's happening with it? Come in the building, y'all. Make sure y'all speak, man. Don't be rude, man. Y'all in the building, man. Whoa, what's up, Jermaine? What's happening with it, dog? Salute. What's happening with it, man? Long time no see, my brother. Good to see you straight. You heard me? You saying what's up? That mean, look, you on this side of the ground. So that mean you straight. Good to see that, my brother. What's happening with it? Who else we got in the building, man? Y'all come in, man. Don't be rude. You heard me? Y'all come in the building. Y'all make sure y'all speak, man. How y'all be doing, man? It's good to see y'all. I hope y'all ready for a good show today. We got a good show planned for y'all today. You been chilling? That's what's up, dog. That's what's up, bro. This so Mo, you know what I mean? I saw that boy Mo at Bertha's. Him and Prince T, them boys damn their own Bertha's. I be seeing them boys promote. We did have Prince T on Tap Out Tuesdays when the show was on Tuesday, bro. We been chilling though. Bubba Head, what's up, Bubba Head? My dog Bubba Head in the building. What you say, Lawrence? What's the question, Lawrence? Wes can't get right? Well, Lawrence. Well, you know what? I'm early. I'm gonna say it like that. I'm early, Lawrence. So I'm gonna say it like that. I'm early.
I'm early too. Look at me, you early. Look at you early by
Hey, bro.
yourself.
Hey, man.
I'm
Hey,
early, learn. You don't try to get jumped on
hey,
everybody. I'm
man.
early,
The man
learn.
asked.
What that mean? Like,
The man
you
asked
should have
you
said I'm
what
doing
the
a test
comment
run waiting
is.
on Kev.
What the comment
Man,
say? What the
man, do the
comment say?
comment.
No, you don't want to read the comment. That's the damn problem. You don't want to read the comments. The comment said, "Hey, man, where's Kev? I left it up there so you can see it. Yeah.
You
What's up,
supposed
big
to be
bro?
on. You supposed to be extra early. I'm on time because it's 7:57. Hey, I'm on time.
Let me put that one up there. You heard me? But dog Bubba here in the building. Did you read his comment?
No, I can't see nobody comment. I can't. I don't like me and iPhones don't get along.
It's
So
right there on the screen. You can't see that?
it's on your screen. I can't. It says, "Oh, I thought y'all was having phone problems tonight." Nah, you don't worry about it. The government phone's
No,
gone.
he didn't say y'all. He did not say y'all. He said you. He didn't say
You,
y'all.
really you, bitch.
You.
You want to get the phone problems?
Bubba Head, who you was talking about, Bubba Head? Go ahead,
Now
Bubba
answer
Head.
that.
Put it out there.
Answer that question
Whoa, what's
wisely,
up, Bert?
Bubba Head.
My dog Bert in the
Bubba.
building. What's up, Big Bert?
Answer that question wisely, Bubba Head, because you know how he gets. That bitch will rat you out. He'll say, "I was just saying what Fred said." I'm not telling you, Bubba.
What's happening with it, man? How y'all
I'm
doing, bro?
trying
We got a good show planned for y'all. Oh, he said my bro Kev. Oh yeah, I know you were talking about Kev. I already know you was talking about Kev, Bubba Head. I just had to make sure it was known, my brother. He always
I'm
trying
trying
to throw it on me. Every
I'm trying to
show, bro.
share
It's my fault,
I'm
bro.
trying to share I'm trying to share the show with everybody, dog. Because
You
since you
trying
ain't
to
sharing
share
with
who?
everybody, just share with everybody.
You try, like I said, bro. I really appreciate you guys, brothers. Pointing out who the problem be around here. I make sure I highlight
That
that.
nigga said who the problem be around. Talking about me? No, you must hear you must hear the problem just fucked up. Come on, I'm the problem.
Ah, what's up? What's up, dog? I see you in the building, big face. You on your fresh from hair and makeup, huh?
Oh, you talking to me again? I'm always fresh, dog. I'm gonna go ahead and make that shit. I'm always-
Wait, say that again?
You talking about me again? You talking to me again?
What the fuck? Who else I'm talking to?
I don't know, cause you be calling people names out in the audience and things like you talking to them. Make sure I can see it better now. What you did just now? First off, way back then in Jamaica. Now I'm back in Louisiana. Okay, I can see you.
You gonna go back in Jamaica in a minute because I'm adding other guests on today. So I was trying to see how the layout gonna look when I add the other guests. So you'll be back there in a little bit once I add Marquita Washington on here and I add on
You can
Courtney
put
Burton.
us. You can put us where you want to put us at. But one thing you gonna know, I got my house. I got my house. I got different flavors of dick too. I'm ready. OG tight pockets, like Gangsta Call Baby. OG tight pockets. I'm ready. Me and my high shoes. All I need is my arrow patch on, kept falling off. You know how people got the nicotine patch on their shoulders? I had an arrow patch on, so I got my shots get cold, so I had to choke this bitch on the line. Get on my damn nerves, y'all. Y'all know how it go.
Nobody know what I gotta go through. What's up, Liz Paulo? What's
What's
happening
up,
with it,
everybody?
Liz?
What's up, Fred? Fred on Earl South Sylvester. That's what I'm gonna call that bitch. Fred on Earl
What?
South Sylvester.
Gang, boy, Kev on time. Ooh,
No, Drake. I ain't on time. We got a new platform. Cause Facebook don't like Earl.
I see you, Marquita. I'm gonna bring you on right after we start the show. I'm trying to give everybody time enough to come in. I see you. I got you backstage, Marquita.
Boy
I
doing
see you, Queen.
backstage
I
thing.
got you. I got you. I see you backstage. I see you backstage, Marquita. I see you back there. I'm looking at you right now, Queen.
Hey there, Keita. Listen,
Look,
you
they
know,
can't see me, but I can see
everybody,
you backstage. So look,
yeah.
I got you. I'm looking at you right now because I got my other screen up. I got you, Queen. I'm gonna bring you on right after we get this show started. But I'm glad you're on time. You unlike some other people that I got to deal with every Wednesday. I really appreciate you being so
You
prompt,
ain't
Marquita.
gotta,
I really
you
appreciate you
ain't
being
got
professional,
to
Marquita.
deal.
You know, I add you in a minute.
I got that yellow page. I can find a show. I can find a show. You don't with me. Cause I ain't worried about you. Cause I can find a show. I
You
go
know
in this bitch
what?
real fast. I go in this
Gang,
bitch real
gang.
fast.
What's
AT&T,
up,
the quicker
Dre?
do the walking. Uh,
Dre in the building. You heard
what's
what
up,
Dre said. What's
Drizzy?
up, Byron Red? What's happening, Byron Red?
What's up, Bob? I can't see everybody. Let me see, man. Who's chatting here?
Dre said, gang, boy, Kev on time.
No,
Look
I done
out.
told you. We got a different platform. We looking better. We doing better things. Facebook don't like early. Early, all nigga know go on Facebook and hit a post to get that fucking ding dong dong. The post you're trying to place is out of order. That bitch how you get a disconnect notice on Facebook?
You know what? How you doing, my baby? I see you in the building. How you doing, my queen? What's
What's up,
happening
T
with it?
baby? What you say, T baby? What's happening with it? Well, if anybody know what I deal with, that lady right there, she knows exactly what I be dealing with every day.
What's up, Catania Jones? What's happening with it?
What's up, Miss
Listen, man, y'all
Jones?
do us a favor, man. Y'all like and share. Y'all do us
Shit,
a
dog, you got the
favor.
same color
Y'all
on.
like
You
and
trying to
share. Do
got
us
the
a
same color
favor.
on?
Y'all
Okay.
like and share. Makita, your friends, everybody that's on Facebook, they can share your Facebook from your Facebook page. They can share this
Right.
live from your Facebook page, but unfortunately, while you on right now, you can't share it right now.
Look at this.
Wait. What's going on, Dre? What you mean? Thank you, Liz. Look, Liz said I shared it. Thank you, Liz. We got
Thank
something
you.
for you. See, look, I'm about to start writing people name down that be sharing. Cause see, the people that be participating doing what we ask, these people need to be rewarded. All right, come on, we're gonna start it all over. Who that? We got Elizabeth Paulo, bro. We got
It's
something for you,
Elizabeth.
Liz. We got something for you. All right. All these people that participate and do what we ask them to do, you know what I mean?
Right
We
on.
got something for you, Liz. I got something for you. Got something. I appreciate you sharing.
Hold on, dog. I don't see Felicia. What Felicia at, dog?
I don't know. Dre, dog, I got you, my dog. Dre, you already know you straight. So I mean, you supposed to share, Dre. You one of us. You supposed to share. I appreciate it. But Dre, you supposed to be leading by example, helping me out, dealing with that. You already know. Right. Tell them what? What you telling them? Mind your business, Kev. Right.
Kevin said damn
See?
thing. I got my
Thank
business.
you,
Don't worry
Dre.
about it. Y'all good. We good. Ain't no hate over here. It's all love over here,
Look,
man.
look,
Mind
look,
up.
the
You see
gang
the ugly
gang.
little
You
boys
already
on here.
with. You see the gang gang? Quell!
Uh,
What's up, Quell? Quell in the building.
what's up, Chris? Hey, say, Quill, I
What's
just give
happening,
me some
Quell?
ranch fries, some ghetto punch, a little 10 piece, no flats. Let Earl eat the fucking flats on his own.
Man, y'all know what, bro? Y'all know Kev. I ain't tell y'all this, bro. Kev took me
Oh,
to a
yeah. Go ahead and
restaurant.
tell him. That boy got
Look what happened, dog. Y'all know. So look, picture. I went in town to go holler. Look who hollering at everybody, dog. You just finished hollering at Nancy. 5 minutes late. What's
what's
up?
up,
What's up,
Felice?
Felice?
That 10
Felicia
minute
in the
fine gonna get
building.
you.
What's happening with it? Felicia's in the building. What's happening with it, dog? Say, bro. So I go by Kev, y'all. To go holler at that boy. So right. So he gonna say, look, let me take you to a restaurant so you can get something to eat, right? So you know, every time anybody that hook up with Kev in Dallas, Fort Worth, fucking McKinney, all in turn, you know, he's a tour guide, right? So Kevin take me to a place that served chicken but ran out of flats. How you take me, to a place that ran out of flats? I think Kevin called before we went to make sure they ain't had no damn flats. He wanted to see if I was
Now,
gonna eat the drumsticks. Say, bro,
so the lady said everybody want flats. You don't want to eat flats.
that lady didn't say that.
That's that. Hey, you know. But I tried to compromise with your sister self. I gave you a leg, and I banged that bitch up flat. Eat that. That's a flat.
You know, it feels so good to have the power just to click him off at times. Y'all don't even know how that feel, right? It feel like hanging up in his motherfucking face. It's like I be want to do that most of the time I'm on this live. You see how silent it is right now? I know y'all appreciate that. I appreciate it. You see what I'm saying? It's like sometimes I just get tired of hearing his motherfucking voice. Sometimes I just want to talk to y'all and don't hear nothing else. You know what I mean? It's like I'd rather just talk to y'all. You know what I mean? Because having a fucking co-host, you know what I mean, that just fucking constantly running mouth about nothing when he knows topics and shit, it's just fucking disgusting. Unfortunately, I gotta add him back. I gotta add him back. But hey, man, y'all pray for me, bro. Y'all see what I gotta go through. This is normal. That button makes me feel so good. I can just cut that shit off. Like, peace, be still. You know, I feel like God be just testing me with Kevin. I feel like God tests my patience. I feel like God just really say, you know what? You pray for patience, and I'm gonna give you the test of your fucking life. You know what I mean? So doing this show with Kevin, I tell you, every motherfucking week is a fucking test of my will, my strength, and a testament that I made to my motherfucking self, just not to lose it. So this me not losing it. So whenever y'all don't see him, that's Earl just trying to get his peace. That's all. I just wanted some peace. Let me add him back, yo. Woo! Boy, that shit feels so fucking good. You
Yeah,
know what I
Ricky.
mean?
Ricky. Oh, yeah, Ricky. I'm here. You said tomorrow morning for 5:45. Be on the Ricky Smiley show. I'll be in the morning. I'm gonna take Juicy spot. No problem. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. I know you're a comedian. I'm a comedian at heart too. I ain't gonna try to take the number out of spot. I just want to come in and give me a little bit of action. I used to work for this place called All Dogs over here, but I guess I ain't on that shit anymore. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Smiley. I appreciate you. Yes, yes, sir, yes, sir. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need nothing but a milk crate and a chip. I don't need nothing else. I'll take juicy spot.
Woo! Woo! Oh my motherfucking god. Oh my motherfucking god. Jesus. Welcome back.
Ricky told me I can't tell no jokes on this show no more. I got a new job now, bitch.
Nobody know. Nobody know, bro. Nobody know, bro.
I don't understand. Every week is the same. You got the Saints. Every week is the same show. Every week I put up the same shit. Dennis Allen, one touchdown a week. What do you think this is? Fuck.
Say, bro. Oh
Man,
my
y'all
god.
understand, boy.
Hey man. All right, let's get this thing started. We got people waiting backstage. So how was your day, man?
Oh man, it rained this morning. It rained this morning. Yesterday wasn't anyway. It was all right. I can't complain. I woke up on the right side of the dirt, like the old man always say. I was on the right side of the dirt this morning. So I guess I was doing good.
Hey man, hey bro. Today was a real busy day for me. A lot of meetings today. I'm glad it's almost over. As y'all can see, my day just be trying. My day be trying, especially on Wednesdays or Tuesdays. But I always look forward to the show. The show is really the highlight of my day. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, y'all know what I go through, but the show is really a highlight of my day, bro. So it's been a busy day today, but hey, I'm here. My phone was broke. I couldn't get in contact with my guests on time. But hey, bro, it was nothing gonna stop us from having this show today. So through it all, everything that I went through today, the show started on
Mm.
time. So that was the most important thing. So glad I'm able to move forward with that. Speak to everybody in the house, and let's go ahead on and get the joke of the day out the way.
What's up, everybody? Felicia, I see you finally made it. Makita, I see you backstage. You coming on with you. Everybody, man, like and share. Appreciate y'all. Y'all take y'all time out your day. Coming food us all day long. See this food, that food. I know it's not an easy task for me. I don't know about y'all, but that's why these high chews come play a big old part of my everyday routine with dealing with Nate Ward Diddy, Usher, whatever y'all want to call that boy, because y'all just understand. But other than that, though, hey, I'm glad y'all here. Glad we all here. We glad to be here.
That's what's up, though. What's up, Auntie Jackie? What's up, James? Say, bro, y'all do us a favor, man. Y'all do us a favor. Y'all do us a
Like and
favor.
share.
Y'all like and share, man. Y'all like and share. Y'all please do us a favor. Y'all like and share. We about to get the joke of the day out the way. Get the conversation started. Get the show started. We got our guests in the building, man. I'm excited to bring them on.
It's our first
Excited
time
to
having
bring
guests
our guests.
on a new platform, man. It'll be nice. It'll be real interesting.
Yeah, I'm about to say. So I'm just really excited to bring them on so they can um, help us with these questions that we're gonna have with their professional, educated opinions. But let's go ahead on and get this joke of the day out the way, big bro.
You know, so I got grandkids. These kids these days, man, they're real funny. Everybody change their words and talking and saying things. Like, so I come home, I go to North, visit, I always bring them a little something, little donuts, a little snack, a little something over there to phone to have. Yeah, so one I worked there last time. Says, Papa, you got me some donuts? I said, no, I ain't got no donuts this time. I said, I can go to the store and get you some. What you want? Oh, I want a glizzy. I said, glizzy. I said, okay, cool, I got you. So I went to the store, down with made me pick up a few things, went back to the house, gave him a little bag and stuff. He said, Papa, what's this? I said, that what you asked for, wasn't it? He said, no. I said, you did. You said you wanted some gizzards in the honey bun. That's a glizzy, right? He said, no, Papa, I want a hot dog. I said, should have said hot dog. You got you one.
What the fuck?
I thought you
Wait,
said gizzards and honey bun. So I bought you some glazed honey bun gizzards. Like I thought you wanted.
wait, Kevin. Wait, wait. What you bought him again?
Some
Please
gizzards
explain
and the
that.
honey bun. I bought some gizzards and honey bun. They see one a gizzard. He said, no, Papa's a hot dog. I said, you should say hot dog. I bought you hot dog. You know the kid wants to change words around. Us old folk, we don't know them new words, dog.
So you bought how you bought this fucking bad gizzards? What
That's
made
what he
you?
said. He wanted gizzard. I thought he said a gizzard. He can't talk that good. My understanding is bad, so we got out the deal, dog. Deal with it. Now take mama water business and cook them.
Man, you stupid. Y'all already know, man. That's Cal the comedian.
That boy was some gizzards. I got that boy he woke.
Look, that's Cal the comedian. I'm E Guy the creator. Y'all already know what's the name of the show. All
All
love over
love
here.
over here.
The name of the show is All Love Over Here. And every week is our job to bring y'all educational or entertaining show. All depends on the topic. If it's gonna be educational, entertaining. Today, is one of our serious days. You know what I mean? I know we joke a lot on this show. You know, me and Cal we play all day, but today we're gonna be addressing some serious topics today, bro. Like I said, I have Marquita Washington, man. I have Marquita Washington. She waiting backstage to come on. I'm about to bring her on in a minute, man. But like I said, this show here, we be talking about substance abuse and substance abuse explained on different levels. I wanted to bring some professionals that was more educated in this background so they can go ahead on and talk to us about all the things that maybe can help us and some things that we may be overlooking, some telltale signs that we may be overlooking when it comes down to our kids. But I'm about to bring Marquita Washington. If you're ready, I'm about to add you right now, Marquita. I'm about to add you right now, Marquita.
Hey,
Hello.
Kiki. What's
Hello,
up?
hello, hello. How you doing, Queen?
I'm good. I'm good.
Hey man, I'm sorry about the delay. As you can hear, I'm dealing with Kevin. So,
Yeah.
Kevin, Kevin, you can mute that your phone, your
Hold
other
on.
phone, the
I'm
thing
trying to,
don't.
bro.
I appreciate it.
There we go.
All right, all right. Some silence. All right, Marquita Washington. Did I pronounce it right?
You are correct. That's correct.
All right, Marquita Washington. Um, I'd like to number one, thank you for taking time to come on the show. I had someone to write me um about a situation they was having with their kids, and I said, well, I need to bring on some professionals because they had problems where their kids lost loved ones, they lost friends due to, um, like I said, suicide, taking pills, alcohol abuse, being stabbed, being shot to death. All these, like I said, was due to a cause of somebody ending their life due to some type of abuse of some type of substance, right? So most people just think about it and they never really be catching all the telltale signs along the way. And you being in the field, I would like for you just to educate us on number one, just some telltale sign that we can be aware of. Just you know what I mean. Just far as alcohol, start off with alcohol, cause like I said, alcohol, and then we're gonna get to the drugs. But before you do that, you please introduce yourself, please.
So I'm Marquita Washington. I'm the screen. Am I on the full screen? Because I keep losing my.
Well, you come back over. Well, I can take
There you
Kevin
go.
off and we can see you.
Ah,
Hold on, you want me to do that?
No.
you don't have to. I just didn't want to get lost. But
Wait, let me try something out. Hold on one
If you go
second.
to your left, that's to your left.
I'm gonna
I
try
like.
Okay,
different
there you
layout.
go.
How you like that?
Yeah, I can see it now.
All right.
Okay. So I'm Marquita Washington. I am a interventionist and a recovery coach. I work in the substance use disorder and mental health field, trying to help people find freedom with substance use, and kind of like you said, recognizing those telltale signs. I am also a the director of business development and marketing for Restored Cash detox facility. Um, so yeah, but mostly I'm a mom. I'm a loved one who has went through those same struggles and had to find those same signs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what? I started. I mean, I can remember as young as 14, 15, having a drink. Tasting alcohol for the first time, but it wasn't something that I never really wanted to do enough to where it became abusive.
Hmm.
But like I said, that was just me. I mean, the next person is different. What are some things that we may need to notice with our kids, and what's the youngest age you dealt with substance abuse?
Well, so I typically deal with in my profession deal with adults 18 and up. However, I have dealt with children younger, um, and I would think that one of the things to look for initially before it even starts, kind of a preventative thing to start to educate would be predisposition. And what I mean by that is genetic things that we pass down. And so there's genetic, there's environmental, there's all kind of things that can influence you know, these things to happen or perpetuate in our children. And yes.
Okay, yeah, I know. Because you're well educated. Let me stop you because you can answer anything I'm asking right now. Okay. You got Jerry Bass speaking to you saying hi, Marquita. Someone is speaking to you. See that? Okay.
Mhm.
Predisposition. Break down predisposition for me.
So a predisposition is something that you're genetically born with. Um, and so what that means is like you have people that struggle with addiction that have that addiction gene. So it's no different than us having color genes, eye color genes, and things like that. We don't get to choose those things. And so this is something that is passed down to us from, you know, our parents. And so what that looks like is you have a father or mother that struggles with addiction, then you start to have that conversation early on because it's something that can be passed down. And a lot of times our children start to like just party and have fun, and they don't realize the way I look at it is like you poke the bear. And because you don't know what's inside of you can poke that bear 10 times and you're just partying and nothing happens. But you can poke that bear 11 times, and I'm just throwing numbers out here. And that 11th time could be what starts that addiction or that um, uh, dependency. So you have dependency long before the addiction kicks in because now your body is dependent upon it. Yeah.
Mm.
So now you're feeding your body, and a lot of people are looking for fillings, release from different things. Sometimes it's your why, but I think the first when we start to have should have conversations is when we realize that um, grandpa suffered from this or somebody else. It raises the likelihood that we or our children will struggle. Um, yeah.
So you're saying addition can be passed down through genes, through genetics. So I never knew that.
Hmm.
So that's a gene that's created. Then you know what I mean. If it can be passed down like that, when do it break? So if that's a gene that's created, is it in your bloodline? for duration of your life, or do it at sometimes weekend, or how does it go?
So I'm going to use an example that may be a little more to understand a little better. So there's genetic things that, you know what, there's genetic things that are in us, and those things pass down. So we go and do genealogies, and we find out that we have this bloodline, that bloodline, all this stuff, right? These are things that lie within us. We don't know everything that lie within us. So it's no different than any medical condition. So you may struggle with being a diabetic. Um, your parents may not have, but your grandparents may have. And so it just goes back. So I met a lady who she struggled with addiction. Her parents never struggled with addiction. She felt like the unicorn in the family. Her siblings never struggled with addiction. And so she kept going back. Eventually, she found a strange death within her family. And so it was an aunt. She had died, had a broken neck. She went to the cousin to find out, what happened. And they exhumed her and found out that she was an alcoholic because and had fell down the stairs. That's what her fall was caused by. So she was like, I had to go back so far just to find an answer of how this I may have been um predisposed to this. And so I thought that was very extreme, but she wanted
Right.
answers as to why me and not everybody around me.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
Um,
that's interesting.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I have family members that suffer from alcohol abuse. Matter of fact, one of my uncles died from it. He just could not shake it. Like I said, like you said, it's generic, but I watched my grandparents as growing up as a kid. Like Earl said, the first time I tried alcohol, I was my 13, 14 years old myself. But I watched my grandparents, and I never saw my grandfather drink. I saw my grandmother may drink every now and then, but I couldn't figure out why my uncles was so much on to the alcohol
Mhm.
like that. But now as you said, generic genes, but it could have been passed down, like you said, from years and years ago, not just from the
Immediate.
the parents, the
Hmm.
immediate parents. Oh, is it hard to shake that alcohol addiction?
You say, is it hard?
Yes.
So, in my opinion, I feel like alcohol is one of the hardest, and I'm just going
Okay.
to say my opinion, and then let me also say as a disclaimer, I'm non-clinical. I work in this industry. Is what I do. Is what I'm passionate about. But I'm non-clinical, and so I don't. There may be some clinical people that pop on and can answer or chime in on some of that, and I welcome that. But in my opinion, from my personal struggles and some of the things I've seen, alcohol is one of the toughest, and the reason being is because it's so accessible. You can get up and you can say, today, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to have a drink. I'm not going to do anything. Something as simple as going to brush your teeth, taking some mouthwash that has alcohol in it will then set off that phenomenon of cravings in your brain. It can happen as simple as that. I didn't know that.
Wow.
So I had a family member struggling. I was asked the question, who buys your household products? I'm like, me. Do you buy alcohol free? And I'm like, no. Why? Do you look at what's in there? No, because the absorption in the skin, hand sanitizers and things like that can set off that craving. And that blew my mind because I didn't know that. And so I had to educate myself in order to stop the cycle or to not be a part of it. I had to find out all of these things because I didn't want to hurt my children. I didn't want to add to it. So
Right.
alcohol to me is one of the toughest. You can be riding down the street, look at a billboard, there's alcohol. A truck can pass you by, there's an alcohol truck. And so what we see in our head, all the images that go through our head, sometimes on TV, it sets it off. It makes you want to do that.
Wow.
Or foods are paired with alcohol. And so I think, in my opinion, it's one of the toughest because you don't pass a billboard with heroin or cocaine or things like that that are triggering to you. And a lot of times we don't even know what our triggers are. So I
Wow.
think the toughest. It's not. It's a slower burning fire. Let me say that because a lot of times it's a buildup. But um, and some drugs we can take and instantaneously die. So, in my opinion, it's the toughest. It's
Damn.
Mm.
yeah, it's everywhere,
Wow.
Okay.
and it's legal.
That's it. It's legal.
Yeah.
What's the youngest age? You say you deal mostly with adults. What's the youngest adult that you had to give therapy to?
Um, not therapist, but that I
Okay.
had to intervene on. So I've talked to people who and work with people who are as young as, you know, 12, 13, that start to see the signs. And at that time it may be experimenting. But just know that sometimes the precipitating factor of this is mental health. And so a lot of times people are to cope. So when you have children that are young and we wonder how do they do that, sometimes they experiment and it's the only thing that brings them peace from feeling insecure or anything like that. So to answer your question, I mean, I've had, maybe 12, 13-year old that was starting. They may not be an addict yet, but they are starting to experiment and they're at high risk of being that.
So with their parents, how did you even get to know the kid? With their parents brought them to you, or was it something that happened at school, or how did you get involved in the kid life?
Um, all of the above. If somebody knows what I do, and I try to make it very aware. The other thing is because I had children that struggled. And so a lot of times people will connect with me because they know and feel like I understand. And so it's all of the above that different people reach out and ask. And a lot of times with the adolescents, I work with adolescent specialists that I will refer them to because that's what they specialize in, is understanding them and working with them.
Wow. So, so what do you tell a kid at that age just about substance abuse? What do you tell them? How do you start educating them on it?
I think one of the most important things with any age and especially children is, or adolescent, is finding out their why. Like why? What's hurting you? Giving them a safe platform that you it's not that you're in trouble, right? We're trying to figure out why. And in listening, um, I think that's when they start to say stuff as far as things that are bothering them. I know the era I came from, they would say, "Girl, you don't have any problems. Like you don't have bills, you don't have this." But I think respecting that these little minds and some of the things that they deal with because they have social media and all these different things that they deal with a lot earlier than we did and have a lot more exposure. Um, and I think that starting the conversation even before it becomes a problem, educating and being transparent. I tried to present to my children almost as a perfect patty, and that wasn't the truth. So I became unrelatable to them. Then, mom, you don't
Mm.
understand. And I think that, my daughter and I were having a conversation last night, and she's like, Mom, if people start embracing the truth, and not trying to cover up the truth, I think we'll be a lot further along. And so that's a mistake I feel like I made, was trying to tell them don't do this, but not really explaining to them and sharing my truth with them.
Right.
Mm. What you got, Kev?
Um. So one of somebody in the audience learns how. So he has a family member right now that's dealing with that. She has to have a drink morning, all every day from morning to night.
Mhm.
That right there is what you're calling that what you call it? What the word was used again?
Dependency,
Dependency.
right?
So is that the dependencies right there is what you can't shake, right?
Well, I think medical intervention is necessary. And as I mentioned, I'm business development director for Restore Path Detox. And I think people understanding that level of care, a person who's drinking all day, every day, and not even all day, every day, what has happened is the alcohol, the body needs the alcohol to function normal or their normal. When you start to take that away, you set up, especially with alcohol and benzos, um, they're at seizure risk. So you can't walk in and tell that person just stop today without having a plan, an aftercare plan. And so having an aftercare plan, like a medical detox where we intervene because they're dehydrated. So we bring them in and we hydrate them and we give them a safe place and medically monitor them, making sure that they don't go into seizures. Um, you know, they're nauseous. They have all kind of medical things. And what I always tell people is, people say, I don't need detox. And then you let them go a couple of hours ride and don't have alcohol, and they start. If you ever saw people who had little tremors, or
Hmm.
irritable, and things like that when they don't have that alcohol. Well, what is happening is the body is now saying, I need you to show them outside physically something is happening, because it's already happening on the inside. So we don't walk around with blood pressure cups and know what our blood pressure is doing, know what our blood sugars are doing, know what all these things are happening internally. And finally, the brain sends a message and said, I need you to show them on the outside. And the way to stop those is the next drink. And so you don't want to ever, 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 ever have somebody detox off of alcohol without medical intervention, period. I lost a very dear loved one who tried to detox himself off of alcohol. And that is why I'm very passionate about detox, because had we had the proper medical intervention, I don't know. I don't know what God's plan was. But I think it would have made a difference.
um, I got a quick question for Keith. You say it's about medical, right?
Mhm.
Oh, I read some where are doctors handicapping drug use by telling them that it's a disease, not a habit.
By telling them that it's a habit and not a
Habit, not
disease.
a disease.
Yeah.
Right, tells it
You said it backwards, Kevin. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
no.
So in my opinion, and what I've seen, and what I know is, until we start to respect addiction as a disease, it really slows up our progress, because it is a disease. It's a disease in the brain. It's a brain allergy, whatever you want to call it. But and it is recognized as a disease. But whenever people say you have a choice, maybe you started out with a choice, but from the moment you entered into dependency, because a lot of times there's heavy drinking, people that can just kick it, bounce at work, doing what they need to do, and they keep pushing, pushing, pushing to now, as I mentioned before, the body is dependent on it. You take it out, and it's almost like taking a vital, blood or oxygen out of your blood. The body doesn't know how to function. So if the body doesn't know how to function, then how could that not be disease? How can that not be medical? Right. And so, you know, until we start to respect it as that, because I was like, just stop. Don't do that. If you love me, don't do that. And they couldn't stop. And they love me, and I couldn't love it out of them. To me, that's a disease. But it is classified in the DSM as a disease, and
Yes,
that
as I
is
see, man.
diagnosis. Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm. They have a lot of kids these days. Their drug of choice is either popping pills or they're vaping with these pens. That's the thing right now. It's going crazy. I mean, they pop pills at a rampant rate. Some of these kids pop pills in the morning to wake up. They pop pills to go to sleep. I what happened? How this became so much of a thing? Like with the pill popping generation, what's going on with that?
I think it's the glorification of it. I think it's the exposure that they have. It's cool. They see people that they think are doing it, and maybe those people aren't even doing it. Maybe they're just acting like they're doing it. But whatever it is, they're the cool guys. So I really think that it was the exposure to it, and definitely a lot of people on the internet, they can buy drugs. They don't even have to go through us to get these things. They can go on the internet and buy these drugs. So I know the pills and the lean and all that stuff. I mean, it was things that were glorified, um, and it looked fun. And a lot of them are looking for that escape. But the moment they took it and they really felt like I can walk in a room and I can be who I want to be, now you just crossed over from, so it was glorified, you tried it, and guess what? It made you feel good.
Mm.
And so
Mm.
now, we're going into something that, again, is medical. Do it to wake up, do it to go to bed. You have just changed your body's chemistry, a mutation of being able to function normally. You're taking your normal functionality to go to sleep, to eat. Some people are like, I got to do it so I can have an appetite. Or you have taken that away. So you are
Wow.
changing the trajectory and what your body would normally do.
Mm. So
Function.
so for the people that smoke weed every day and say I can't eat unless I smoke. So are those people addicted to weed?
I do, in my opinion, again, and it's very controversial. I do believe that, I've seen some of the worst psychosis, and that's just mental health, hallucinations. You know, I've seen some of the worst psychosis come from marijuana use. Um,
Well,
because a lot of times, again, what made you do that? There's a freedom some people are looking for, and really it may have started in an early age with addressing the mental health, addressing the depression, recognizing, respecting that little people have problems. Now they try to find a solution for themselves, and now every day, we are a hand mouth society. So some of them just, they're used to doing this all day long, all day long. And, or if they're whatever. But I believe that it does change the very functionality of how your body would naturally function.
Quick question, Marquis. Is marijuana still considered a gateway of drugs?
I don't, I really can't answer that, because I always kind of figured, I don't know if that's like myth, or if that was really, maybe somebody else can answer to that. But I will say that, I think addiction, I think triggering the addiction in you, poking
Okay.
the bear until now you're leveling up, in my opinion.
mm. For the people that have kids that's on here that's watching the show that may be popping pills, what are the later effects? What are the later effects of popping all these pills and taking all these different pills? Just like you said, besides being codependent on them, what it does to your body? For the ones that's not aware of what taking all these pills, what that does to your body.
Um, what does the pills do to your body? I mean, again, I think it just changes. A lot of different pills work on different things, and so what they're really meant for. Some people take um, stimulants to perk up. Um, those things could lead to psychosis. Some people, I mean, depression, um, depressed respiratory, where they can't breathe because their body is not remembering to breathe. Mhm.
For the ones that don't understand what psychosis is, you'll break down psychosis because they might be having or going through that and they don't even realize it.
Well, psychosis is just a state of um, it's a mental state that is not really is delusional thinking, um, obsessive thinking, paranoia. It kind of shows up in a lot of different ways. But just to kind of make it like really simple is, you know, doing things that you normally would not do and not having really the ability to change it back. So it's taking your mental state and being in a state of, not reality.
Mm.
um, which can lead to suicidal ideation. People thinking, now they're thinking and they're overthinking. So you can also look at it in a way of like overthinking to the point that your wheels just won't stop. And you start to think things are there that are not there. And so it's really it's precipitating like some mental health issues in you. So just look at it kind of like delusional thinking, if that makes sense. And if I need to go further.
Okay, so would it be fair to say that they would need some counseling besides medical intervention?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There are so many different levels of care that have been tried and true, that really help people. I mean, there is no magic pill, there is no magic solution, but there has been tried and proved steps that can be taken to help someone.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What you
I
got,
got a
Kay?
I got a question, Keith. A
Mhm.
lot of these kids don't they don't know. They might have seen their friends do this and came out fine and with no problems. But how dangerous is it fentanyl?
It's pretty dangerous, especially it's not regulated. Again, used in its right form medically by medical professionals, it is um, one of the oldest drugs that they use to regulate pain, m- m- um, severe pain. But in hands and not being properly distributed, um, it could be deadly. Um, it doesn't take much. A friend of mine had a penny, and he showed me this penny, and on the penny it was like a very small amount, and and I was like, okay, so what is this? And it wasn't. I mean, it was in a plastic. It was packaged up. It was kind of an illustration, and he said that's how much fentanyl it takes to kill 7 people. And I'm like, what?
Mm.
So something that would fit on the size of a penny, and if it is not dosed, correctly or whatever, it could kill 7 people. Like that just blew my mind. Something so small.
So wow.
And the
Because
thing is,
there's a
this a lot. Some people do take just straight fentanyl, but also this is being put in so many drugs. And so now we have people, instead of being in science labs that were, um, educated and taught how to do this as a profession, licensed doctors. Now we have people sitting in their garage with pill press that look exactly like um, a Xanax, or looks exactly like a Skittle as it hits, right? And they have this fentanyl, and they're able to take the true additives and mix it with the fentanyl to stretch to whatever their reason is, right? There's all different kind of to have the drug with the best high, whatever it is, right? And they're pressing these pills themselves, and so that's not dose. So you may have it be sitting by a friend who takes one pill and they're fine. You take a pill and you die.
Mm.
mm,
Guess what? There may have been some additional residue left from the last batch. Who's telling them, who's going in and regulating, saying, clean these machines and they must test zero before you go to the next batch? There's no
Mm.
regulation.
Wow.
there's a lot of kids that like I see on the news. There's a 1 year old that got a hold to a fentanyl pill out of one of the teachers' person died. The drugs have taken over the streets. You know, we grew up with crack cocaine and things like that, but now this is fentanyl that came back out. I don't think us as parents, we afraid that our kids gonna go to school and get a hold of something without us knowing about it. And you try to have that talk with them. Hey, don't take nothing from nobody in school. Don't take no pills. If you got a headache, go to your nurse. Like you said, it could be a Skittle, it could be a gummy bear, it could be anything like that.
Mhm.
How do we try to control our kid? Not you can't stop it because it's out there, but you can control it from happening to your child.
Honest conversations, honest conversations, and let
Oh man, somebody froze up.
You froze up, Marquita.
Oh man,
Marquita.
yeah. Um,
oh,
All right, you're back. You're back. Kevin was about to
you
start
back
rubbing
now.
your head. I'm glad you came back.
mhm. But I think just being honest with them, like it's time out for um hiding behind and what you don't know. Educate yourself on it because it does come in all kind of forms. I mean, they put it on chips, they could put it on anything. And so when we were I know I was told, don't go begging, don't ask nobody for nothing, da da da. Well, when she wasn't watching, guess what? I'm like, hey, can I get some of your, can I get a few pieces? Can I get a now later? You know what I mean?
Right.
Hot shoe,
Mm-hmm.
can I get one?
Gotta
Um,
have your hot shoe, baby.
yeah.
Don't
And,
start with the high chews, Marquita. Please don't mention high chews.
and that's just sharing, right? And so
Right.
somebody come up and they're like, hey, try this, it's so good, right? And you try it and you think they're just they're just sharing, but it has something else in it. So
Wow.
we need to teach them that, yeah, be able to say thank you, but I'm not going to get that. If they jump in the car with you after school and say, I saw somebody with some peanut M&Ms, I want some, will you take me to get some? Do that and let them know, hey, if you want something, we can get that for you, but you don't take anything from it because the person that's offering it to you, what they will say, their defense will be, Mom, they wouldn't do that. Dad, they wouldn't do
Right.
that.
Right.
But you don't know if it's going to them. Who did they get it from? So
Right.
your education, yeah.
Tell me this, Marquita. I mean, you're doing great. You're doing great. Like I
Wonderful
said, you
job.
answer every question we have. You're rolling, man. Thank you, thank you. We have a few more for you before I let you get off here.
Mhm.
But all right, tell me this: what do you tell your kid that lost a friend or a loved one to substance abuse? Now they're dealing with the later effects of their loved one that they lost or that friend that they lost. What do you tell them? How do
I
you
think
counsel that person?
I think that we're not equipped for that as lay parents, right? So, but we have resources that are available, and anybody who is struggling with anything from mental health to substance use to, you know, I share my number because I will be a resource for them because there is, and I don't care what state that's in, by the way, because they need counseling. And we have to destigmatize counseling because that's not how we were raised. They tell us, pray about it, it'd be all right, you know, look to the hills from which cometh your help. Well, all the things that we grew up and we think, well, we made it. And my dad told me one time, he said, you don't get rid of old, you take a little bit of the new and you put it with you take a little bit of the new and you mix it with the old, right? So we don't have to get away from what we were taught, but we do have to unlearn some of the things. And so what I know and what I see is that there's not enough therapeutic intervention going on. A kid, my nephew lost his father, brother at 22 years old. He needed counseling. He needed counseling right then. And you think kids are resilient and they keep going, right? But who knew that he would be dealing with this years later, right? So we have to start intervening now because the resources are available for us now. Stop trying to be therapists, and reach out to the resources. There are people who are specialists in grief, um, certain mental health. It's not just a therapist that somebody say, hey, she a therapist, so go to her. Find a specialization for what that person is dealing with and a good fit for them so they feel that they're in a safe place to be able to share things.
Hmm.
Do they have free counseling available, or do they have to pay for it? Where do they find it? Where do they look for it?
There is a website, Psychology Today. You can put in whatever state you're in, and it will populate therapists in that area that specialize in certain things. I'm sure there are other resources as well, but that is one that I use a lot when I'm looking for something a specialization. Um, that you will see on there that some of them take insurance, some of them do sliding scale. And what that means is they work with you with what you have. And yes, there are programs that are free services, state funded services. So nobody has to not get help. And that doesn't mean they're not good services if they're state funded. And also, there are therapists who, like myself, this is a ministry and we give back. And so there's some therapists that do charge, that have a on their books or within their practice. I'm going to see X amount of people for free. I'm going to give away this many sessions. Um, and then there's also a guy, and that's what he specializes in. So he's my guru for people who need services that they don't have the money to do it. I call him, and he has a database of over 4,000 resources. And call me, we'll figure it out.
Awesome. You
Hmm.
froze up again, Marquita?
Yeah, she got
Yeah,
the
man.
government
There you
assistance
go. There
phone.
you go. All right. Hey, man, you're knocking it out the park. You're really knocking out the park. Suicide. Suicide is up. Suicide is up, man. With teens,
Hmm.
with teens and unfortunately preteens. Have you ever had to deal with somebody that was going through that, and how did you cope with it?
Um, Yeah. So again, I feel like a lot of exposure, just looking for a way out. And yes, I've had to deal with that several times. And, unfortunately, I had to deal with that with my own child. I had to, hold her in my arms, and until an emergency team came out to be able to assess her. And this hasn't been one, two, three times. It's been several times that the idea of getting out was easier than staying in this game because it's tough. She kind of sometimes didn't see a way out. So, I've dealt with that with clients. And a lot of times, the suicidal ideation, you get them safe, you make sure they're in a safe place. And you, number one, medically intervene. And when I say or clinically, you reach out to somebody. Don't take it lightly. There's ideation, and that's the thought of I'm thinking about it. This would be easier, and that typically comes before ideation with a plan. So ideation with a plan is a step up. So now they've said something like, I will just take all these pills and die. They have a plan. Don't ever take it lightly, because the fact that they have thought far enough to get to a plan, they have really put some consideration into this, and they felt like they weighed out the options. And so what you want to do is call their suicide hotlines, their resources, get them to a hospital. Don't worry about if they're mad at you. If you hear them say something, I tell parents all the time, hey, if you hear them say it once, take action. Start to really let your ears perk up. They will get there. And I've gotten there and I was just playing. I wasn't going to hurt myself. Well, guess what? I'm not playing. So I have recorded my child and I've taken text messages that were sent, and I get to the hospital and they will deny. And I will take out my phone and say, mm-mm, because this is what she said. And what happens with that is a 72-hour mandatory hold, because you get them to the hospital, and if they deny, they can only go on their assessment. They can only go on what they say. And if and sometimes it's just to get out of the medical or the therapeutic intervention. So take every single thing serious, and always have somebody on. That suicide hotline number is there for everybody.
Hmm.
And once you get them to a safe place, if you need to call me, call me. But the first step is get them to a safe place. There's emergency teams that'll come out to the house. There are, ask for forgiveness later. They will be mad, but what I was told when I was scared to make my kids mad, you better be willing to love them enough to piss them off, and I love them that much.
Right.
Mm,
my last question, Keita. What service does your agency offer children and parents toward recovery?
So again, I work with adults,
okay.
18 and up. I have a ton of resources and a ton of very well trained therapists that they specialize in the kiddos and they love it. Um, but my facility, Restored Path Detox, what we offer is a medical detox. So we have nurse practitioners, medicine interventions to be able to help people get through detoxes, the withdrawal symptoms and signs and things like that safely. We're a 24-bed facility, beautiful, located in Frisco, Texas. We accept several of the insurances, and what we do is we make sure that you're safe. Detox is your foundation. If we take the fear out of what treatment looks like and give you a safe place to be able to understand, get to feeling better, be respected and taken care of like a person, not judged, and have so they see a therapist, they see a nurse practitioner, they have a loving, supportive staff, recovery coaches, and meetings that come in and take that anxiety out of having to be in a facility. And so when you do that and you make that first step comfortable, it what we do is we then have resources to get them to the next level of care, and that's where rely on my referral partners in the community. If it's a female that has trauma, I have a place that I send them to. If it's a young male that's really kind of a hard head, I have a wonderful place that I send them to. There is a specialty for everything you can think of. If it's an older client, we have something for everybody. Nobody has to continue to struggle.
What's the average cost for treatment or recovery for a family?
It varies,
Okay.
because it depends on the length of stay. It depends on the facility itself. It depends on the things that are offered, as far as the different modalities, and what that means is the different kinds of therapy that is offered. Um, and so I've seen treatment go from um, anywhere from 5,000 to a month to 100,000 a month. Um, and yeah, there's beautiful facility that very expensive a month. So but then there's different amenities, and there's different massages and different things that you get. And so we have things for executives, we have things for um all social economical background, so nobody has to go without treatment.
Mm,
Insurance does cover a lot of the facilities that are in network. Um, and I'll tell you, when my child was laying in my arms and I had no idea what I was going to do, um, I had a man that I was talking to and telling me, I said, I don't know what to do. And, I don't have that money. And so what I know is that there are scholarships out there for people who are really trying to, want to get better. There are people out there that have lost their loved ones and they
She got that she got the jitterbug phone again.
I knew it was coming, dog.
I know she hear
Yeah,
me.
don't rip out, I guess, bro. Y'all be patient. Marquita is rolling. Marquita is rolling, man. She answering
She's
all our
back. She's
questions.
back.
The internet just may be freezing up. What you got, Marquita?
um yeah, there are resources for everybody on every level, state funded, all the way to 100,000. So like the range is so big.
So,
um
so this one of my last questions before I turn
mhm.
it over to the audience. Once again, you're rolling with answering all the questions. What are the different levels of care, and what does that look like?
So there are the different levels of care. And I'll just start from like a substance use. Typically there is uh, detox. And like I said earlier, detox is the foundation. And so one of the examples that I like to use that are really easy for everybody to follow, um, detox. If you compare detox to a suitcase. You walk in a place, you got a suitcase and it's got all your dirty clothes in it, right? Everything is dirty. You walk in detox. What detox does is they take those clothes out. So they take all of the bad stuff out of you and put it in the washer. Okay. So now you've gotten everything out. The next level of care, for some, not all, would be once you complete detox, is going to a residential treatment program. And so what happens there is you grab your clothes out the dryer and you put it in the suitcase, not folded or anything, right? They're just clothes balled up in a suitcase, but they're clean. They're clean. And so now you go to residential and they're going to teach you how to iron and fold your clothes properly. And what that is giving you your coping skills. So now you're learning, you're picking up skills, right? So now you take those pressed clothes after spending about, it could be 30, 60, 90 days in a residential treatment program where you're getting around the clock programming and care. And now you can properly fold those clothes and put them in the suitcase, right? And so now they're pressed and they're nice and they're in the suitcase, they're clean, um, which means you have the tools. Now you walk out of that place and there's another step down, and that's IOP or PHP. PHP stands for partial hospitalization. Not quite ready to be all the way, you're ready that you could be home or in a sober living, but you may go and spend 8 hours a day at a program and come home and sleep at night, right? That's partial hospitalization and or IOP. And that's just outpatient. So now you have your clothes. Now they're going to teach you how to, properly dress yourself, and that's just give. Now you're using the skills that you picked up in residential, and they're going to keep on honing in and teaching you how to do things, properly. And then after that, I like to see people get into some therapy, and just keep some continuous therapy, to make sure that all of those things are being done. So now you can unpack. You're at home. You're a little more independent. And if you're not quite ready to be home, there's sober living, and there's not a certain amount of time that you would be there. My daughter stayed a year, but some people stay. It just depends. When they're comfortable enough to go back into the world, the worst thing we can do is put somebody out there too soon, or cut around those steps. So that's what the different levels of care looks like,
Mm,
and it's tried and proved.
mm.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Mhm.
Um, audience, if we have any questions from the audience, this is the time to ask Marquita, man. She really been rolling, bro.
Right.
I don't have nothing that I think. Um, Nah, I know Tanyelle said they do admit people for weed withdrawal. What they give you if you have a weed withdrawal? How? I mean, I don't understand that. I never even heard of people
Uh,
being admitted to anywhere for a weed withdrawal.
well, there are protocols that they put in place, and it really kind of depends on what Some people get nauseous after quitting. It's the withdrawal. So it's how your body's reacting to being away from that substance. And so then you're met where you are and you're addressed accordingly. So it just kind of depends on what your symptoms. So they look at symptomology and kind of address those symptoms.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm praying for you and your family. I did not know that you yourself had dealt with it. And that's why I said take a strong person. So you were speaking from personal experience, and
Right.
that's something that can help some mothers and fathers that's watching this right now,
Mhm.
because we all want the best for our kids,
Mhm.
right? And at what point do you feel like you tried and you tried and you tried enough, and you just feel like Kevin Shirt saying hashtag I tried? Do you get to that point, or do you keep going, or like, because it's hard with a loved one to know when that fine line of when you just say, you know what, I'm done with this. I've tried enough and I did everything that I can do. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like,
Yeah. Um, so boundaries. And I think setting boundaries is a good thing to do. But there are different points and there are different people, and it's for different reasons. I was a really, really bad codependent. I was so afraid to upset my children, afraid to lose that relationship. And that came out of my own trauma. And so what I was doing was I was reacting to everything based on how I want to feel. And it wasn't really, it was some days I would tell them, I don't know if I'm fighting harder for y'all or me, because I didn't know
mhm.
what life would look like without them. And so I just fought, and I had no direction in fighting. I just fought. It was like I felt like I was always just fighting to save them. And I realized that they didn't have to fight because I was fighting for them. Um, people are different. Some people have a tough love approach. As an interventionist, I use a motivational interviewing love first model, and that's just because that there's several different ways to do it. But for me, in my heart, it was a love first model. Now, did I have to get to a point where I set boundaries? Yes. But one thing about me and when I was going through this personally with my children, I knew who was in there. I knew who I raised. I knew who God, blessed me with, and I know what I did, as far as trying to raise them and do things right, by them. So I tell them to this day, I used to turn to the side, turn them this way. Sometimes their mental health and their addiction had changed what to me the outer shell of them. It was like it was trying to take over, but I knew what was in there, and that's what I put my eye on, and that's what I fought for. You know, um, and the most important thing to do is they're not always ready for help. Their bottom may look like I hit my bottom long before they hit their bottom. I was ready for them to get out this rat race, stay out
Mm.
of jail, stay out of psych wards and all of this. They wasn't done. And so I just kept loving what I knew that God had in them. And I kept showing up, um, and not always in a healthy way. So I think people that are struggling, again, I go back to get into you some therapy, because you have to look at trying to help a loved one, just like when you get on an airplane and they say, in the event of lost cabin pressure and the air masks fall down, who do you put the mask on first? If you ask that question, you'll be so surprised, because if you say you have your children and your loved ones sitting beside you, air mask come on, Kevin, who would you put the mask on first?
The
Either
kids.
Huh?
You put the pass for the kids first.
Okay, and so Earl, who would you put it on first?
me,
Yourself.
Huh? That's
me,
right. You gotta put it on yourself,
yeah.
because if you run out of air, you think about it. no cabin pressure. You're trying to get a mask on. They're moving. They're scared, and you can't properly get it on. Right? You run out of air. You both die. All of you die. But if you get
Correct.
that air mask on first, and then you're able to then put them on, you can move faster because you can breathe.
Correct.
Be able to
Correct.
do. We got to look at it just like that.
Mm.
Cells,
See,
because they don't get better until we get better. And I'm telling you, my children would not grow. They didn't do anything any differently until I said, I'm getting better.
hmm.
Mm. Mm.
Got a question on the comment section. Gary Giordano want to know, what do you do if you have a child that's cutting themselves?
They need therapeutic intervention. So find a therapist. A lot of times that's a way of releasing pain. And it's something that they do, and they feel like they're letting pain out, and it can become kind of compulsive, but really there's something underlining, and that is something that you need to seek a therapist, and it's not a warning sign that you want to play with. It's serious.
How you get them there to the hospital if they don't want to go? How you force them? I
If
mean,
they're underage, under the legal age, the best time to intervene with these kids is whenever they don't have a choice.
mm.
And that's being once they get 17. Oh my goodness. Now I don't know about in Louisiana, but in the state of Texas for some reason told these kids you're grown and you make your own decisions, and we don't have to give your parents any information or anything like that. And when I tell you, my job became 1,000 times worse whenever I didn't have a choice. And so I think if you see signs early on, start working on that thing now, and destigmatizing getting help, because you do not want to lose control as when they become of age according to the state and see your baby suffer. That's the hardest thing in the world.
So so now, what do you do when you at that point? Because a lot of kids living with their parents between the age of 18 and 25, and you see them struggling with this addiction. They're not a kid anymore. They're a young adult. So what you could get someone to come to the house and do an intervention, or because they're at the age to where you damn near gotta whip them or kill them just to bring them if they don't want to go.
And you said, repeat that. They live with who?
Yeah, they live with you.
Right.
Okay, so that's called leverage. And
Yeah.
so whenever I talk to families, when they call me, I want to know who paid a phone bill. I want to know who bought the groceries, where do they live, um, and are you willing to take this journey and set these boundaries? And I'm telling you, they're hard, but are you willing to do that? You got to leverage. You got to
Mm,
leverage what you got, because we came from a time. Oh, you're not gonna do that up in my house.
mm,
And we had to respect that. And you know what? It kept us too. It kept us.
Right.
mm.
We may got in the streets and did something, but as for me and my house, kids are now have drug paraphernalia all over their rooms, and they're not even hiding it.
Right.
So use your leverage when they become of age, because if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. What motivates them to do anything? What motivates them to seek God? If you're doing everything for them, then what motivates them to help themselves?
Mm.
That's when I say up the ante with the tough love. And I don't mean I'm done with you and you ain't mine no more. You know, is there a problem? How do we address the problem? Because there's a thing called co-occurring, right? And co-occurring means that you have mental health plus substance use, and so you're not dealing with one thing and you really don't know which one came first, the chicken or the egg, right? um, you know um, you got to intervene, get them an assessment, and figure it out, and be willing to say you can go to treatment. Because what I tell them when I do an intervention, bring a garbage bag and an empty suitcase. Put their stuff in a suitcase, I mean, in a garbage bag, and you bring an empty suitcase. And when it's time to go to treatment, If you are going to go to treatment and accept, this wonderful blessing of being able to go and free yourself, you can take your stuff out of the garbage bag and put it in your suitcase and go to treatment. And I support you. But I'm not going to watch you die, and I'm not going to be a part of you dying. And so if not, you take this garbage bag, and all I can do is turn you over.
Mm,
And you gotta stand on it.
mm.
And
That's good. That's
Wow.
good.
it's our spices, our spouses, and all kind of loved ones. We got to be willing to. I promise you, love them enough to piss them off.
Mm. I asked that question for the mothers that have um older sons that's these boys bigger than their mom, and a lot of moms scared of their sons, to be honest, which a lot of them ain't not as strong as you. I see a lot of them, but there are those that are, but some of them, the ones that's running wild, they got the kids bringing guns in their house, smoking in their house, just they feel like they lost control of their child. And it's just about trying to just reel them in, trying to get some type of control. So that's why I asked that question for the one that don't have no control over her kid, and she just trying to convince them to like better themselves for that parent.
They don't hear us. And that's why you have to bring people in, because they don't hear us. All they hear is nagging, and they tune you out, and they have perfected the craft of tuning you out. And they think, oh my God, you don't even know. You're just worried about nothing. You know, um, and so you have to bring in professionals. But there are those kids that, I know. It was sometimes like I had a different relationship with my kids. I never feared them. But there was times where I feared their reaction to certain things that I may say. And so this is a tough one. It's so hard, but there was times, no, not necessarily with me, but there are times where it's necessary to call the police, right? I think that where we get a little shell shocked about that is because we don't know that when we make that call for them to intervene and help us, different subject for a different time. But I think I couldn't do it because I didn't know if they was gonna hurt my child. And so
Mm,
that locked my hands. That really because it's real. And unless you live it, you don't you just so but there are times where it's necessary, um, that you have to get safe because the drugs make them do things that they will probably later regret. But you have to stay safe.
mm, mm. Okay, we got
Question of
this
the
question
comments.
from Johnny. All right. Actually, did she have to deal with her pride being in the way on her trying to make decisions and get help? Did you
Um,
have
I
issues with that?
I had not really my pride, because I had people that were like, "Oh my God, girl, what are you doing? That's overkill. You don't do that and send them kids down there. We don't do all that." I had those naysayers, but what I knew was that it wasn't time for pride. My family was sick, and my daughter had flipped her car, broke her neck, back, sternum bone, tailbone, ejected from the car, and I got a call that she was on life support. At this point, what pride? I had to do what I had to do to get to where I need to go, and I didn't care what nobody said. So
Hmm.
well, no, it was never really a pride thing, and I was never shamed, and I've always been very transparent because I those people that are trying to keep these secrets kill, and I won't be a secret killer and a keeper add to your demise. So it's time out for that.
Mm, mm,
Hmm.
mm. Okay, okay. I know you've been on here longer than we
We we
originally
we get
wanted you to keep the.
Once.
But like I said, you're doing so well. You're doing so well. Kevin, you have any more questions from Keita?
oh
Audience, y'all have more questions? Y'all
Kia
ask them right
Newsom
now so we can
Kia
get more
Newsom said
information. Oh,
she said some medical help agencies may come to your house, and if they determine the child is a danger, they will take them. They will take that child. That's still going on like that.
Oh yeah, if they're a danger to themselves or others, if people are making threats or accusations and they feel that is a part of the assessment, that is a part of the mental health assessment, and it's across the board. Yes, and aggression and things like that. Yes, they will make an executive decision to get that child stabilized, and that is a stabilization is another level of care. Because it's hard to treat the problem if you're not stable, stable. So yes,
When you say get the child stabilized, what does that mean?
that's getting the mental health in a place. That's get them stable, creating a baseline for them to then be able to receive anything. Because sometimes they're so out of whack, or aggressive, or hallucinating, or all different type of things. Precipitating factors that they're not stable, you know
Mm.
um and so they have you bring them in, they do the assessment, they determine, because at that time, so it's basically stabilization is getting them to a point where they no longer want to hurt themselves or other people, or showing signs of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that's a lot. Gary got another question, Makita. He
Mhm.
said, "What about the kids who are now using vape pens to smoke weed and not really knowing what's actually in the pens?"
It's just like the pills. If you're not a scientist and you don't have a way of breaking things down and knowing exactly what you're doing, I don't care what somebody gives you and says is something. Um, we really don't know. And so I have people that come in and say, I only smoked weed. And then we test them and they pop positive for fentanyl, or they pop positive for other drugs, and they're like, I promise you that's all I did. Then that means that whoever you trusted to give you this stuff decided that they were going to put something else in it. So my thing is, if it don't come you know from a regulated source, it's a game. You rolling the dice every single time, and you rolling it on your life.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
yo, that's the last question. That's the last question, man. I mean, Kevin, you drunk more water than Marquita, and she was answering all the questions.
Well, actually, I'm not drinking water. Smart ass.
Yeah.
I was juicing. I'm drinking some nectar. Get some, good for the body.
Yeah.
Watermelon. I juice my watermelon cucumber, so I'm trying to stay refreshed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, um, share my number. I'm perfectly fine with that. You can also find me, like I said, at Restored um, Restored Path Detox. Share my information. I will do whatever I can to get you connected to the right resources.
Okay,
Yes,
once
ma'am.
again, Marquita, where everybody can contact you, do you have any social sites besides Facebook that or any website that you want someone to follow you on that may need your assistance?
Um, So, I mean, LinkedIn, and it's just my first and last name, Marquita Washington. That would be a good place. But other than that, I mean, my social media, I'm there. They can follow me on Facebook or whatever. But no, I don't have any other than Restored Path Detox. You can find me there, find information there, and or just reach out to me. I'm more of a personal touch, so just call me.
I'll catch you on Sundays at the Dagger Shop doing lion dance.
Well, and that's what I was about to say. You can look at my social media, and it's pretty safe, but you will see a lot of line dancing because, at the age of 50, I discovered a way that to take care of me, and that's line dancing, and I love it. And we have over 1 million views. So go to Ice Pink.
You gotta
Um,
teach me that Tamil dance. I can't get that Tamil dance right for nothing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I love it. We will be performing at October the 7th in Plano at the DFW Family Fun Fest.
I'm
So
gonna come check it out.
yeah,
What's the name of the group?
So that's kind of funny because we're really not a group. We're just some friends from high school that started dancing, but we do like to refer to ourselves as Flossie. But that is spelled with a four, the number four, Lossy.
Right.
Flossie. Where that
Yeah,
came from? I mean,
listen.
That's an Arkansas thing, huh?
No, it I don't know where it came from. We really struggled over a name because we didn't want to be a group. We just wanted to be four friends that were in transition in life, and we like to dance and we started doing it, and we just went by our names. And so really that would be our group name, would be our names, and that's Marquita, Rayshana, Julia, and Christy. And that's just what we do, but we love it.
I
And
saw
we
your
have
video.
we have several videos
Yeah, I see your video.
on YouTube. Iced, ICED Pink. So yeah, follow us.
that's what's up. We're gonna have to check you out. Look, once again, thank you. I really, really appreciate you coming on. But for anybody that come on our platform, like I told you, I don't invite just no anybody on this platform. Everybody I bring on this platform, I love and respect. So look, let's go ahead on all love over here. Let's show them some love and clap her up,
Clap
and
it
clap
up.
her up, and clap her up.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you,
Yes,
thank you, thank
ma'am.
you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having me.
Marquita.
It was fun.
Hey man, like I said, you did an awesome job. I really appreciate you taking the time out your busy day just to come on the platform and answer all the questions that we may have. I may need you to come back again. Like I said, with the time just went so fast, but I may need you to come back again, Marquita.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because it's not a problem that's slowing down, and we need to keep talking. We need to keep the conversation going. And so I am here. And my thing is, out of my pain and my past, birth my purpose. And so what I do is not a job. It is a ministry, and I do it, and I just keep getting more energy because I don't want anybody to be in the dark.
This was up, man. That's what's up.
Hmm.
Kev, you got anything for Marquita before we get off?
Okay, I appreciate you coming on. I said you and I had a conversation about a couple of months ago where you was helping one of my coworkers that was going through, and I said you gave me so much information. I had to tell her we got to bring Keith on the show because she got so much insights on drug and alcohol abuse. Till I was like, we was on for like 2 hours, and so I'm like, man, I ain't never knew all this stuff. But you did a wonderful job. Like I said, again, I really appreciate you coming. I really appreciate you taking your time out to show us some love. And we show you some love back.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you have anybody struggling, call me 214-842-2307. I'm happy to help anybody. That's what I'm here for.
What's that number again, Marquita?
It's 214-842-2307.
And what's the name of your group?
My group, or wait, which one is?
Ice Pink of it. Where you want us to follow you on YouTube to see y'all line dance.
Oh, the line dance. Yeah, iced pink.
Ice Pink. Y'all make sure y'all go check out the YouTube. I'm gonna go check it out myself. Once
And
again,
I also seen you got some celebrity shout outs on one of your videos.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
tell me about that, huh? I seen that.
Pretty cool. SWV were in backstage trying to learn to dance, and somebody sent us a video, and they were had us on the screen.
look
That's
out.
pretty cool. That's dope, man. That's dope.
Look
Yeah,
out, Marquita. Look
it was.
out.
I'm
So
like,
now we're gonna
wow.
have a all love show line dance show because I didn't know how to do that dance. I can't do it. I got two right feet or two left feet or something. I don't know.
Wow, I get it because I was the person with no rhythm. I'm so glad that my friends trusted me to be to dance alongside of them because there's some really good dancers. But that is something that you can do once you find freedom. When I was going through the struggle, I couldn't dance.
Mm,
I couldn't take care of me. I was too busy cleaning up other people's mess. And what I can say now, at 51, I'm free. I'm
that's all
free,
right.
and my children are doing well.
All right. That's a
That's great.
blessing.
That's
That's a
awesome. That's
blessing, man.
awesome.
That's the best. And God bless you, man. God bless you. One more time, let's clap up. Let's clap her up. Let's clap her up. Let's clap her up. Appreciate you, Marquita, man. You did an awesome job. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I said, I will need you again.
All right. Call
All
me.
right, man. Have a great day.
Salute.
Bye bye.
Oh man, say, bro. I know y'all enjoyed that. I know y'all enjoyed it.
Yes.
Like I said, man, Marquita knocked it out, dude. Marquita knocked it out. She was able to answer all our questions. If y'all like that, put a one in the air. Put a one in the comment. Put a one in the comment. If y'all appreciated Marquita today, man. I had two people scheduled, but Marquita was rolling so well. I'm just like I gotta bring Courtney back. We gotta do like a part two of this show or something. And that's
Right.
why I said like yeah, correct. Y'all put a one. Y'all show us some love. Y'all show us some love, man. She did a real great job. She did a great job, bro. I like when we bring people on the platform that help us understand things better. That's the reason I created this show, so we can be educated on things as a community. Courtney, I ain't forget about you. As you saw, Marquita was rolling. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have a part two of this show because they still have other questions that I didn't ask, and I have someone else that I'm gonna bring on the platform too. So I'm gonna bring you guys together. I didn't forget about you because they have questions that's gonna be like the later effects that I need to ask you, Courtney. But we're gonna do it on another show. I ain't want to cram everything into one show and then I be rushing, asking you questions, trying to get you off. But I got you, big brother. I did not forget about you. I appreciate you being on. I appreciate your patience. It was a
Right.
good show today. Like the comments saying, Marquita, you're a strong woman. Like I said, I ain't ever heard of a woman that went through all that, bro, and saying I'm free right now. You know, a lot
Right.
of people that gave up on their children, bro, and it's
Right.
just everybody got different breaking points. So I'm not saying you wrong for having your breaking point. I don't know how long you've been dealing with you've been dealing with. You know, I don't know what you had to deal with going through
Right.
having a loved one that have some type of addiction or some type of substance abuse at the time. So, you know, we just heard a true testimony from somebody that's been through this and on the other side to where they can tell us how to win. So it was real
Not just
helpful.
going through it, not just going through it like dog, but you still willing to help other people. You
Yeah,
know, that's the strong side. You had to deal with your own child, but you still get up every morning and go to work and try to help somebody else overcome what you're dealing with at home.
yeah,
So
man.
that's strong because now it's like you could have been like, I can't help nobody right now. I gotta focus on just my child. But you didn't do that. You decided to take your time, split it up into two, and still balance your professional work schedule and your child at home that's going through the same thing that you're trying to prevent other people from going through. That's man, that's a lot.
Yes, it is, man. Great show, great show. Kevin, why don't you go ahead on and give me your social site before we get off here?
Hit me up at hirechu.com. I like the green apple ones. Y'all already know, man. Hit me up at Kelly Community hashtag underscore 504 on Instagram, Cam Howard on Facebook. All love over here. So you can find me in this fool, act a fool every Wednesday for YouTube. On YouTube, follow the All Love Over Here show, man. We got more subscribers coming to the YouTube page. Every day I go, I upload videos. I keep on trying to do short reels, trying to get more and more people, grab more and more people attention. I'm loving the feedback. I'm loving the ones that is coming over and joining the YouTube page. I really appreciate y'all. We appreciate everything that y'all do for us. Y'all know I still got the hashtag I tried, like Earl Makita. You know, that's one of the situations where these designs come from. You try, but you never give up. But at the end of the day, you put 100% in. If you know you put 100% in what you was trying to accomplish, you tried. You can't never beat yourself up and say I didn't do enough. You try. All you can do is try, man.
Hey, man. Hey. Y'all already know. Thank you, Marquita. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all already know y'all can find me at beatsbyeGuyton.com on all my social sites. If y'all looking for any of the gear, y'all can follow me on Instagram. Um, TikTok, on Facebook. Just hit me up, and you can get any of the gear if y'all want. Any of the big hats that I be making. I mean, just call me. Like I said, I need time to make the hats. I don't make regular wool, rabbit, beaver, nutria. Remember, I don't make regular wool. I sell regular wool, but I don't make it. So if you calling me, it's gonna be for exotic custom hat. And I appreciate everybody that's been ordering the hats. I mean, I have new bodies that's in. So, look, I got them right behind me. I got new bodies that's in. So, like I said, I'll be getting to it, y'all. I'll be getting to it. So as y'all can see, this work. This how much work I gotta do. When I tell y'all I'm waiting on the body, so now I got bodies in. So now I gotta start making a hat. See, now that the body's in, I gotta start making a hat. So these are all the orders I have. So when I tell y'all I be busy, I don't be playing. I be busy. So when y'all call me, y'all coming behind this. I gotta do this first, then I gotta get to your order. That's why I said call me like 3 weeks advance notice so I can get these people out the way and I can start on your order. You understand what I'm saying? So be patient with me. I really, really I'm happy that everybody has been supporting. Me and Herc the Hatter, we got some great news that we're gonna be telling y'all. I can't wait till I tell y'all. I've been sitting on it for so long, but I'm gonna keep it under wraps for a while. But thank you, Johnny Parker. That man, that was awesome. Uh, hey, she was great. She was great. She was great, man.
Yes.
Johnny said if he was on drugs, he would turn his life around tonight. So that's awesome, man. So that mean, Marquita,
Right.
you came in, you did your job, Marquita. You know what I mean? You would have had somebody convinced to turn their life over. You want a hat? No problem. I would get with you right after the live, Marquita, and I can see about making you a hat. I would love to make you a hat, man. Thank y'all, man. It's been a great show. Y'all already
Hey.
know. What's the name of the
Oh.
show? What you gotta say, Kelvin?
Oh. Hey. Let me see the brown hat. The one you have on the top right there.
It's not even a hat, it's a body.
Let me see that brown body. I want that one. Jiggling, jiggling. What's his name? Jiggling, jiggling. Like Bird and Mac, Bitch of Life. Jiggling, jiggling. I want that jiggling hat right there. You gotta do that tomorrow. Just sit over just like that. I better be like Bird and Mac. What's your name? Jiggling, jiggling.
But y'all already know. What's the name of the show? All
Oh,
love
love.
over
Oh,
here, man.
yeah.
Peace out, man.
We
We're gonna see
salute
y'all
y'all, man.
next
We
week,
out.
man. We out this thing.